Hey guys, welcome. Let me turn this audio down so you don't hear double. Hey, welcome. It's been a while. I feel like I haven't did a stream in like a couple days, but before we get started, I gotta how should I put it? I gotta just swallow some food real quick. Just get down real quick. It won't take me long. But I'll get to all of what happened in the background, why it took so long. Because this stream was really supposed to happen Wednesday, but like just a whole bunch of mess in the background, guys. So I'll go over all of that, bring you guys up to speed, let you guys know, keep you guys in the loop. But just know there's a whole bunch of things that happened, but I really wanted to do a stream and just didn't work out. So welcome. Let me share this stream real quick with other folks. Let you guys talk and we'll get ready with this new build. Let me share this real quick here. I need to get in the habit of doing this. Let me share this with some groups here. And shared. Alright, cool. Alright. So we're good. Alright, guys. Hold on for a second. Just mingle. I'll be right back. It won't take me that long, but I have a few surprises. So just stay put. I'm coming right back. guys, sorry to keep you guys waiting. I had to down some food real quick. But what's up, Victor? What's up, Conley? Hey, Tyrone. Welcome, guys. Welcome, welcome. So, for Father's Day, my wife made me a little surprise, just like to share it with you guys. Now I have my own little logo. Look at that. Got my little apron. 3 nerd with all my logo. Isn't that cute? It's freaking awesome. So now start throwing it on now. I guess I'll take a thing or two from Nero. And yeah. Now I'm see if I can tie this up from behind. Alright. So I'm official. I'm official. Got some pockets as well. So now I can put like tools and stuff in it. I don't have to sit there and run and look for stuff. So now I can kind of like rest stuff in here and I can dig and find it. Some new changes, as you can see, the toolbox is no longer here. So I have a lot more space to put my printers. So the next time you see streams, my printers will be kind of in the corner behind me here. Just much better layout. It leaves a lot of room. I don't have to sit there and swivel. I can sit here and work on the printer. So basically I just created a lot more space. Lower the table a little bit since I don't need it that high. I can just sit down and work, just make it easier on me. But yeah, so before we start, a couple of things. The reason why it took me so long because I ran into some issues. And they're not major issues, but just issues I created on my own. So the first thing was, I was working on the Troncy. I got a new build plate for it. I have a little video coming out tomorrow. I'm probably going to upload it sometime noon tomorrow. Just going over some of the build on some of the changes I made on the Troncy. Nothing major. Just some cosmetics and like a build plate, a thicker build plate. So I'll go over that. And then as far as the 1.8, I definitely want to do a review on this. Right now, it also gave me issues. The issue mainly was because, so the last video I posted, I was showing you guys the drag train, how the wire got crimped. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So bad this wire looks. All those ripples in it. That was all created by the drag train. So apparently, excuse me, I'm just draining here. So apparently, when you sleeve some wires in the drag train, they can crumble up on themselves. Okay, so they can kind of like create these little ripples as it goes back and forth in the drag train. They can crumble up on themselves. Now, that has caused my thermal sensor to stop working. So it was nothing wrong with the thermal sensor, it just was the little ripples. These little ripples here, these little kinks, all these kinks, kind of caused my thermal probe to short. And it was just random because I'm like, man, I just fixed, I just fixed this and now all of a sudden that's a problem. But I found a solution for it. So what I did was, I took all the wires and instead of keeping them nice and straight in the sleeve, I twisted them. Because the problem was the wires were singled out, and so when the wires are at the bottom, they would just crumble on themselves. So I twist the cable, all the cables together, like almost like a, like making a braid with a cable. So I twisted them up and then tightened the sleeving on them. So what that prevents is that when it goes back and forth, the cables can't ripple on themselves, right? Because you have a bunch of cables together now, so they can't fold or ripple. and that fixed the issue. So I will say this for future reference for anybody listening to this. I'd advise not to use the cable sleeving to prevent issues, but the reason why I was using a cable sleeving because I really like how rigid it make the cable chain. Because I don't like the cable chain sagging. It looks weird having a sag, so I just like the stiffness it provided in the cable chain and make sure everything was flowing nicely. So for me, you know, it was kind of my fault. So, but I found a way to deal with the problem. So far it's been working fine. No more issues. So yeah, that was a crazy. That's why I had to delay the video because I really wanted to get this working. Yeah. So next thing, other than that working, we're gonna go ahead today. We're gonna break this down because I haven't took the parts off yet. That's to show you how much behind I am. So part one will be about we're just gonna take the parts off. I'm gonna put the parts in a little box, and for those who want them, they're all PETG parts. So if you want them, let me know. Send me a message. You can get me over Facebook. Yeah, it's best to get me through Facebook Messenger. I'll respond that way. I'm not always on my Instagram, though I do post some stuff on there, but it's quicker to get me through Facebook Messenger. So if you do want the parts, they're perfectly fine. I'm just switching out to ABS, plus using this opportunity to build a Voron Legacy on stream. No one has built a Voron Legacy on stream yet, and it's not that popular. But for those who want to convert a Tronxy X5 SA frame into a Voron Legacy, this will be the thing for you. Look at that, guys. I'm not sure if you saw that, but if you look just now, you saw the bed drop, right? That's because the bed is freaking heavy. It's a 9mm 6061 aluminum plate. I didn't realize how heavy it is. So every time a print finish, it just drops. Look at that. This literally just drops. I don't know what's the best solution to fix that, but I'm not worried about it because it's not really hurting anything. But it's kind of weird to see the bed just drops when the motors are off. So yeah. Yeah, you know, that's a good idea, Conley. I'm for the 2.4, I mean the solution for there works, but for the 2.4, what I'm probably gonna do is braid the cables before, because I know I'm gonna use sleeving again. I just really like how sleeving keeps the cable together, and the reason why I also use colored cables. See, I've seen people use all black cables, all red cables. The way my mind works, that will confuse me quick. Like, that will confuse me in terms of running the wires, what goes to what, and that's the quickest way to damage your printer. So for me, in order to not label every single wire and all of that stuff just to save time, I like to use color coordinated cables, because that way I can tell this goes to that, that goes to that. You know, makes it easy for me. So the sleeving helps to hide all that color wires. So most likely I will be using sleeving on my 2.4, but what I'm going to do this time, learning from the lessons here, is I'm going to braid my cables. So the whole cable will be braided, so that way no cable is singled out by itself. So even if it's in the drag chain, it won't crunch up. It just, because it's all braided tightly, there'll be no crunching, but it still allows some flex in there. I might throw some, like you said, some wax in there on the cables to help it slide a little easy too. But now I know what the problem was. So, but yeah, so got a little gift I'm gonna unbox here. Alright, so I bought a Fire HD7, and I'm going to use it. So instead of using, like, you know, a LCD like I have on the 1.8, the colored LCD for the 1284, you know, kind of display, Marlin kind of display, I like the way I have the LCD mounted, you know, the tablet mounted on the Tronxy. So I'm going to do the same thing. So I'm going to have a tablet to do all the displaying. So I'm going to probably run fluid on this one instead of main cell. And I'm going to have a tablet in front that's like this. and have the board power it, because it only takes a 5 volt to power this. So I'm just gonna use the spare connection on the board to keep this charged and powered. And I think it's gonna look really, really nice with a tablet in front, kind of make it look all clean. So I have a really good idea for this. So that's why I bought the tablet. I want to show you a couple of the prints. So I'm not sure if I told you guys in the other video, but it's gonna be a black and brown theme. So it's like a chocolate brown. So this is the housing. So you can see that came out really, really clean here. I'm gonna show you the rest of the prints. So these are the quality of the prints. This is the, because I'm going to be using the M4 extruder. This won't be direct drive. So look at the quality of this print, man. It's the 1.8 been kicking out some really good prints. I'm really, really happy with it. So let me show you quality of the parts. Here we go. So it's been kicking out some really pretty ABS, really clean prints. So yeah, so I'm excited. So it'll be a basically a black and brown color theme, something totally different. So yeah, so we're gonna get cracking, start taking things apart, and then the next stream will be starting to like assemble stuff and starting to put it together. So let me just go ahead and grab some stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna cut this cable because I know I'm not gonna use this anymore. We'll go ahead and okay, I can pull it out from here. I'm actually going to use a BL Touch with this one. I'm not going to use a probe. Someone made a BL Touch mod, so I'm going to go ahead and use a BL Touch on this setup. Not sure if you guys been watching, but I see that Thomas has been building his V2.4. Of course, he has a lot more subscribers than I do and a lot more viewers. But he's not doing too bad. He's definitely not doing too bad at all. Yeah, I'm probably not going to use this belt. I'm probably going to throw it away and get rid of it. Because like I said, this belt kind of was garbage. So I'm going to go ahead. Yeah, yes, Victor, it's an X5 SA that I converted into a Voron Legacy. And that's what the purpose of this was, is to show people you don't have to necessarily, how should I put it? You don't have to necessarily build the frames from scratch. If you have an existing X5 SA, if you can get an X5 SA Troncy for cheap, you can actually build a Voron Legacy with it. I've seen people also turn this into a V1.8. If you have the know-how, you can definitely turn this into a V1.8. It's a bigger V1.8. So the potential is there. You can pretty much do anything with this frame because it's kind of squared. It's held down together with screws. It's easy to square, easy to align. There's nothing to throw you off. So this is a really good big square to turn into any Voron, really, if you wanted to. You can even turn this into a 2.4 as long as you have the dimensions right. You can definitely use it as a 2.4. Yeah, you know what, Condi? I'm probably going to get some of those. I'm probably going to end up going with anti-backlash nuts. Good call. I'm probably gonna grab some of that this week and see if that would definitely help, because that might just stop it from dropping, because it's literally just falling down. I'm gonna go ahead and loosen this up. Right now I'm just going ahead and loosen everything up. I'm going to use the same screws, same nuts, everything. I'm just changing, all I'm changing is the plastic from PETG to ABS. So this build shouldn't take that long. It's pretty easy build, but I wanted to do it on stream to help anybody that maybe want to think about doing it, you know? Just make it easy for them. Let me go ahead and remove that. Yeah, PTG is not bad to use in this case. However, the duct, since you're going to be printing PTG already, the duct I would definitely print out of ABS for some longevity. But PTG, this open frame, it's not a bad choice to go with. Because, you know, there's really nothing's going to melt here. Everything is kind of far away. You know, it's not like enclosed like the 1.8. So if you're going to print PTG and PLA, it's not bad to print the parts out here in PTG. But as you know, I like ABS now. I've been converted. I really like ABS. So I'm going to go with the actual spec of printing ABS and using that. Guess I didn't grab the other one, huh? Alright, let me go on YouTube here so that way I can view y'all comments. See what you guys are saying. Hey Tyrone, welcome bud. Hey Victor, have you tried to watch the video? If you go to my clipper video with main cell, it's pretty spot on. It's really hard to mess up, but exactly what issue are you having? Like what exactly is difficult to install? Maybe I can guide you. But it's really pretty straightforward. If you follow my video, it's like pretty straightforward. Go ahead and take these off, put these aside. I need my bigger see if I can get my bigger okay, I need my bigger tool here. Let me grab some Allen wrench. grab a ton of Holland wrench just so I don't have to go back in there. There we go. Should I take off? Yeah, let's take this off first. Let's take this off first. Hey, honestly, hey Pigeon, I don't think you can be a Voron YouTuber without the apron. Hey, listen, Nero, I started a trend, okay? I wouldn't be surprised to see other people building Voron without an apron. I mean, honestly though, it's really cool because I can just throw my tools in here in the pocket. I don't have to run up and down for it. And I mean, it's really cool just to have an apron because then it's, you know, it's nice to just kind of like promote your brand. So yeah. Oh, my wife did set up a pegboard. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but if you look at the corner of the wall, there's a couple pegboard. I'm probably going to steal a couple of them from her. But that's coming, don't worry. Oh, and my wife was lovely to put my logo on the apron. So it's totally different from Nero's, but it's nice. Just an early Father's Day gift, you know? Alright, I need to find something to rest these down in because I'm clearly going to need these things because they're going to be reused. Okay, let me rest it down right here so that way I can find them when I need them. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate it. Appreciate it. Right now I'm just currently taking this apart. Let me see if I can strip it down as fast as possible. Maybe we can get a couple of parts on there. We'll see how far I can get. I'm not really worried about the electronic box because that's easy. I can do that off stream. But I'm trying to salvage all the screws here. So I'm just going to go ahead and try to do it the smart way. And maybe remove that piece. There we go. That's loose. Yeah, you know, I've never been one to wear those little wristbands. I mean, I've been messing with electronics for a very long time and never caused a static shock. Not that it's not possible, but I've always been pretty careful of just keep that in mind. But yeah, definitely safety there. But that's why I'm barefooted. I don't wear socks, and I try not to wear socks on the carpet while working on this stuff. Just to be careful and not damage anything. I'm gonna put these screws aside here, make sure I find everything because I will be using all the screws. And there we go, first piece here. There we go. Look at that, guys. This is so nice. Whoever designed the Voron Legacy, so nice. Can't wait to put it back together in ABS, but such a nice setup. Yeah, that's in there. That is in there. There we go. All right. Alright, one side down, next side to go. Hey guys, remember after this build, the Voron 2.4 is coming. And yes, so I think one of y'all mentioned that I build printers fast. You know why I build them fast? Because they're easy. To me, I've done it so much now that it's like second nature to build them. And especially when you build one or two of them that are complicated, it becomes like repetitive to do. So, and next thing with me, I'm so impatient that once I get into the build, it's hard for me to stop. Like I just want to keep going and keep going, you know. So, but I got to contain myself, so I got to split this up on the streams to make sure I'm showing you guys exactly what I'm doing. So I can't really be selfish about it. But yeah, I try not to get in too much of a groove because I'll get carried away. I'm just going to use the rods. I'm reusing the rods, all the screws. All that's changing is really the plastic from PETG to ABS. Time for the, let's take down the bed. Let's take the bed down. So, how should I approach this? I can easily just, remove the tops. Yeah, I'll just do that. I'll go from the top to bottom here. Oh yeah, good point, Conley. With Clipper and configs, it's so easy to mess up. If you have space beside the actual, I don't know what you would call that now. What's the name? So if you put in, like, for example, if you're trying to do Z tilt or bed screws or any macros, I'm just gonna call it macros, simple. When you're putting in macros, if there's space beside the macro, it won't work. It'll like throw out an error. It literally can't be any space beside the macro itself before you put all the settings for it, for what it needs to do. So Clipper can be tricky that way. It can be easily frustrated because I was having troubles too when I would copy and paste macros. I'll put space there and I don't know what I was doing, but it was a space. So you move the space and it works. So you gotta be careful with that. Also, I built my 2.4, my 1.8 config from scratch. I didn't use the one that was on the Voron GitHub. I don't like to use people's config personally. Personally, in my opinion, it's best to start from scratch. Get a scratch config, do it yourself, because then when you mess up, you know exactly what you added to that config to cause a problem. Sometimes grabbing a random config from someone, I understand that it's probably easier to get you going, but then they can have macros in it. They could have settings in it, stuff that are not necessarily compatible with what you're trying to do with your printer. So when you start having issues, you don't necessarily know exactly what they did or put in the config for you to be having trouble. So I always recommend any newbie, just make your own config. Just add what you need. Just add what you need as you go. Just add what you need, because you know once you add something and there's a problem, you know it's what you just added. And so you can just remove that or fix that and then start back from scratch. Versus grabbing someone's config, you add it, but then you don't know exactly what they did, and you know, yeah. So just to avoid that, use a scratch config. Start from scratch. It's an easier way to learn how to do configs, and you learn as you go, you know? It's just better when you do it that way. Yeah, my configs are typically they're not complex at all. My configs are pretty simple. Like, the way it's laid out, pretty easy to understand. There's nothing really complex in it. The only thing in my configs are Z-tilt, screw tilt, bed screws. Other than the stepper motors, I don't use G-code. I don't put start G-code or start macros in my config. I know a lot of people do that, but I don't like that. It seems too much. So I use Cura start and end slicer G-code to do that, because to me that's more simpler. You know, I don't have to stuff everything in a config. So you can split up the job. So that's why for me it's hard for me to share my config or share my slicer profile, because they both go hand in hand. If I'm doing that, I'd have to give you my slicer profile plus the config for it to work the exact same way. Alright, this is going to be a little tricky to get out. So, I'm going to have to loosen the bottom. And I didn't realize how much I tightened this stuff, but I really did tighten it. There we go. That was really tight. can also pop this off. Let the plate drop. Make it easier to remove. There we go. And there we go. Plug it out. Alright, I'm gonna have to take this apart in a second. I'm just doing the main tear down. Just want to get the main stuff tore down. That's moving, that's wiggling. Okay, that's flexible a little bit. Let's take this off. Out. Oh, there we go. Alright, it's coming apart faster than I thought, guys. I figured there was not much to do. It's just a few parts. Of course, it's a lot of unscrewing and undoing. And like I said, if anybody wants the PTG printed parts, if you want to build a legacy, I can put the parts in a box, ship it off to you. Of course, in the Americas, I don't want to really ship outside of the States. It gets really expensive. But if you live in the States and would like the parts, I will. However, what I would do for you, I can print you a ABS fan duct. So that way, if you're printing PTG or PLA, usually if you print PTG, you're going to be using 80 degrees bed. So, and PTG will kind of melt over time. It might not melt right away, but over time, with a constant 80 degrees at the bed, it will kind of start warping. So I'll print the duct for you in ABS. But everything else should be fine. Like, nothing else is really getting touched by the heat. So if you guys want to do that, let me know. We can talk, and then I'll ship it out to you. Oh, look how straight that was. Woo! Look at that, baby. Had it dialed in. Let's take it off. Almost there. Come on. The bed mounting for this, I'm not going to do the 4-way mounting. I'm going to drill the holes like the V1.8, and I'm going to go ahead and have a 3-point mounting. I really like the way the 3-point mounting is. It seems so much easier to level the bed, especially when you're using a thicker aluminum plate versus the thin aluminum. So I'm gonna go with a 3-point mounting on here. It's a smaller bed size. I'm going with a 300 by 300 millimeter bed. The way this is set up, you can't really, you maybe can get away with 310 millimeter bed, but I decided to just do the 300 millimeter bed. It just seems easier to deal with. So that means I got to bring this a little closer, which is fine. It's pretty easy to do because everything slides. But yeah, I'm gonna go with a 300 millimeter bed on this one. Hey Slim Gig, welcome to the stream, brother. Doing a Voron Legacy build because no one has done that yet, and it'd be nice to be the first one to build it on live on stream. Because I know this is not the popular Voron out there. It's a Legacy. It uses linear rods, so I know a lot of the guys are not going to be interested in this. But honestly, I really like the look of it. It's a very retro printer design, still quartz wise, still can print fast with it. I'm tearing it down for two things. For one, I'm going ABS because this was all printed in PTG, and two, with the direct dry setup I had, there's too much weight on the head of the 8mm rods. So what will happen is when you're going fast, the head of the tool head afterburner will be like kind of vibrating a lot, so you can see it in the prints. So I'm going with a smaller bed, lighter tool head. That means I'm going bowden using the M4 extruder, and I think that should fix up everything, and you should be able to print fast with that. So but it's not a bad design. It's not for everyone, but I figured I could make this on stream for those who want to convert a X5 SA or X5 SA Pro into a Voron. You can. Again, a lot of people don't realize that with the Tronxy frames, you don't necessarily have to keep it as a Tronxy. You can build a V1.8 with it. You can build a V2.4 with it. It's a very cheap frame. You can use the motor from the frame. So honestly, you can get this, like I bought this for what, $275 on Amazon, I think it was. Yeah, $275. And the amount of money I spent to turn it into a Legacy was an extra $200. So $500 or $200, yeah. So $475. That's a steal. You can't really beat that because you already have a frame. And you know, so yeah, I think it's a good idea to just use an existing frame instead of building the frames from scratch and turn it into a Legacy. Yeah. Yes, Conley, you're right. 300mm is the optimal size. I find that any bigger than that tends to just have a lot more problems in terms of rigidity. So you're absolutely right, and I do agree with Nero's point that anything beyond 300mm is kind of a little bit pointless. I mean, I don't even print and ever use up my bed space like that. And as far as Victor, the voltage, I'm using 2209s on SKR turbo on this build with 2209 stepper driver. It's overkill for this type of design. You really don't need it, but because I had spare SKR board in 2209s, I decided to use it. I bought a new power supply, so I'm not going to use the existing Tronxy power supply. I'm going to be honest with you guys. The power supply that comes with the Tronxy printers are absolute trash. Like, I've ran through 2 of them so far, and each of them died with the fan failing. Like, I'll come in here and I'll smell like, you know, like kind of burning PCB, like PCB when it heats up and it gives off that weird burning sensation. that's what was coming from my printer, and it was a power supply dying. It got super hot. Good thing I found out, got rid of it, and put a spare one I had, and that also failed. So I'll tell you guys this: do not use the power supply from Tronxy. They're absolute trash. Get a mean well power supply right out the rip. I'm telling you guys now, because that's the danger right there. If you have power supply failing out of nowhere. Ah, there we go. You know, Pigeon, to answer your question, I've seen the Galileo. I don't know, only because even though it's lighter, it definitely will be lighter than the pancake stepper I'm using, because the pancake stepper I used is this one here. They're pretty common. This is from Stepper Online, but they're pretty common. And I mean, it's comparable to the LDO stepper motors. So I was using this, and this is pretty light by itself. Like, it's really light. Now I know it's probably not lighter than the Orbiter extruder, but with the way the frame is, alright. So for example, if this was smaller in terms of the actual Voron spec Legacy by 250 by 250 with a smaller frame, then I would go direct drive, because at that point the rods are so short that it's rigid, right? You won't have a lot of flex. But because of how wide this frame I'm using, the rods are so long that even if you had that little bit of weight, it's still flex. On the speed, it would just, you can see the head just bobbling back and forth. Like, so I'll probably stick with bowden this way. Like, to me, it's just better with the rods for bowden. Like, you know, if you can get direct drive, you might have to print a little bit slower on the acceleration. But in this case, I'm probably gonna go bowden, just because I experienced the fact that with any weight on it, with this size of frame, it's not worth it going with direct drive. That's the only downfall building it this big, making it this big, is because of that problem. Now, if you could use, even if you use thicker rods, let's say 10mm rod, 12mm rods, then you run into the problem of adding weight to the gantry, because those rods are going to get heavier. So you're kind of being counterproductive there. So yeah, that's the only downfall of building it this big. So if you can build it smaller, maybe like a Creality style Ender 5, like that type of frame size, then you can probably go direct drive, because at that point it's very small, less rod, so the rods are stiffer, and then you can get away with, you know, much more speed and everything. But with it so big, that's what's holding me back. So I'm just gonna go bowden on this one. Should be out enough now for me to slide it out, but let's see. It is being a pain. So I might just, you know what? I might just unscrew this and take it off this way, instead of struggling to try to remove that. I'm missing one extra screw. Okay, I'm missing one extra screw. So let me see if I can find that real quick. I'm missing one extra screw. I think this will work. All right. Yep, that worked. Also, if you guys attempt to build this with the transit frame, you might need extra 2020 extrusion, because the way the bed was designed is, you know, again, I kind of overblown this a little too big. The way the bed was designed, it was designed to be mounted on these plastic parts here. I wish I guys could take you any closer, but it was designed to mount it on a plastic part, but because it's so wide that you'd have to have a custom bed, and I didn't want a custom bed. You'd have to do like 330 millimeter by 300. It's like an odd shaped bed, and I didn't want to do that, so I went ahead and put like two 2020 additional 2020 extrusion mounted on that, so that way I can put any size bed in between. So I had to, like, I want to say jerry rig it, but it's the most logical reasoning to mount a bed on here. So you do lose some Z height, but not a lot, because if you look at the volume here, that's a lot. That's a lot of volume. So I wasn't really worried about the Z height on this one. But I can tell you though, this was one of the most challenging builds, as simple as it is to build. The gantry is easy to assemble, but the bed area for custom bed was a pain in the ass, because you had to square up the 4 rods. So I think that you guys see, you had to square up the 4 rods, and the problem I was having, it was binding. Like by the time I come here, it will start bind up on me, and the manual for this is not out yet. So it's like a guessing game if you do a custom bed. You just don't know exactly where to, how far you need to be from the front. For example, they give you the manual for the 1.8, and they tell you that you need to have the rods 44 millimeters from the front of the bed, from the front of the aluminum extrusion. Here, you're kind of like guessing. Now, they do have a tool for the stock 250 millimeter build volume, so you can line up the motor and the rod spacing. But when you're going bigger, you kind of have to guess, and I didn't know, I don't have the CAD skill to kind of blow up that tool, so I had to kind of guess it out. I mean, it did work out in the end, but it was just annoying to fight with the bed to try to figure that part out. So that's the only downfall, doing it this way. I had to guess, but it's all good. On there. That last one is on there really good. Yeah, Conley, if I need to sit, I'll sit. That's the benefit, is I can just sit down if I need to. But right now my back is not hurting, and plus I was sitting all day. That's another reason too. I totally forgot. So the reason why I also did the stream a little late is because I'm working 10-hour shifts now. So I work from 7 to 5:30 p.m. and by the time I come in, boys, I'm like drained. So that's another reason why I push the stream back quite a bit, because I'm just exhausted. And keep in mind, I don't do anything on my job. All I do is fix Apple computers, Windows desktop. I'm a software technician for a county school, so it pays decent, but I don't really do much. I just sit there all day and freaking re-image computers. So, but it does get mundane and annoying after a while. So, yeah. But when I come in, I don't have enough time to even do anything. So I have to get ready to go back to bed to do it again. But the benefit is that I work from, during the summers, I work from 7 to 5:30 p.m. Monday through Thursday. Then I have Friday off. So I basically have a 3-day weekend for the next 6 weeks. So that allows me some time to do a lot of streams on Fridays because I'm off, and that will help out a lot. So just to give you guys some more information. So I'm okay right now. My back is alright. Alright, now to take this off, I'm just gotta get rid of these 2 pieces. One piece off. Rest this right here. Yeah, my streams are gonna be for this summer, for the next 6 weeks. Just expect my streams on Thursdays and Fridays. Maybe on a Sunday, it just really depends, but Thursday and Friday at the moment, because I know Nero streams on Saturday and I really don't want to take that away from him. I watch his stream as well too. Very awesome stream, so I don't want to take you guys time away from that. But Thursdays and Fridays I'll stream, and then he streams on Saturday, so you guys get entertained the whole weekend. So I think that works out really well. But I'm really excited for the 2.4 build. After this, that's coming up next, and I'm really excited about that. I've seen everybody building theirs, and I'm like keeping mine for last because mine is gonna look the best. I'm not gonna lie. With a Joker theme, I have a really good idea in mind. So saving mine for last. Alright, so now we can, there we go, pull that off. I'll pull this up in a second. And just like that, boys, we have this empty box frame. Just like that. So, like I said, it wasn't hard to take apart. That took me what? How long we been streaming for? Not that long. Yeah, so we've been streaming about for an hour, and it took only an hour to pretty much take it apart. Like I said, pretty easy build. The only problem is just putting it back together. That's where we got to take our time. How I'm gonna do this time, before I did the bed first and then I did the top frame. But this time I'm gonna reverse that. I'm gonna do the top first and then worry about the bed frame. I think it's just makes more sense to do it that way, because I can spend time on making sure everything is nice and level on the top frame and then worry about the bed after. I think I'm gonna do that way. Before I did the bed first because that was the most challenging and then did the top, but I'm gonna flip it this time and worry about the gantry area first and then the bottom. So go ahead and take this apart too, because I'm not gonna use this. Make sure I keep all the screws because I gotta reuse everything. Yo, listen, those 10-hour days though are brutal. I don't care what nobody says. Yo, working 10-hour shifts from 7 to 5:30 with 30-minute lunch break. Yo, listen, don't let nobody talk shit, man. That's brutal. It's no joke, because even though I'm not necessarily working physically hard, but it does, after a while doing computer re-imaging after imaging after imaging, it just gets very boring and mundane quick. You know, so 10-hour days is no joke. Yeah, I mean, depending on your time, Tyrone, I'll be doing it around this time. So the next stream, alright, so just to announce now so you guys know, the next stream will be literally tomorrow morning. Not morning, but tomorrow afternoon. So the next stream will be around 12 to 1 p.m. during the day. I think most people will be on YouTube. It's a Friday anyway, so I'm assuming most people will be on. But yeah, the next stream will be in the afternoon during the day, tomorrow. Oh yeah, it's coming, Tyrone. That build is coming. My 2.4 is gonna look spot on nice. Even nicer than that. I think that's one of the nicest looking V1.8 out there. I mean, there's some other nice one out there, but I think mine looks really, really nice. So I'm gonna take that effort now and turn it up a notch with the Joker theme 2.4. I want it to look spot on with the colors. So yeah, my mind is already running on it. I'm constantly thinking about how to make it look good. So it's coming. If you guys can look, everything in the background right there, I'm gonna shift myself so you guys can see. All that is for the V2.4. Every single piece you see on that big old box. The big box is the panels. So I got the panels from LDO Pretty Solid. I got the frame kit, which is purple, from LDO Pretty Solid. I didn't get their motors because I already had motors. I used Stepper Online motors, so I didn't really get their motors. And to me, Stepper Online and LDO stuff is the same quality in terms of their stepper motors. I've never had really issue with it, so, and I had the motors, so why not use the extra motors I had? So I saved money there. But everything you see right there, I can tell you right now, this is the most expensive printer I have, the 2.4. It cost me so far, with everything all together, purchased, this is running me right over $1,100. So not quite $1,200, but $1,100, which is on the cheaper side for a 2.4. Most 2.4 300mm spec is running you 12, if not 1,300 bucks, and I'm doing it at $1,100. Only because I source a lot of the parts myself. I don't want to say I cheap out on anything, because everything I got was most of the stuff I got is from Amazon, which is kind of convenient. The only thing I got from AliExpress is the MI6 plate for it, because I didn't want to drill my own. That's the one I didn't really want to drill. I didn't really want to mess up on this one, so I went ahead and ordered the MI6 plate from AliExpress. That's the only thing I really got from AliExpress. Yeah, the plate. So everything else though was from Amazon. I got every other part from Amazon. So yeah, about $1,100 in total. It's not bad, but it's the most expensive printer I have. The V1.8 only cost me $800 to show you the difference. Oh, you just took the words out of my mouth, Conley. So yes, I will be starting to stream my prints. I thought about it for the longest. I will be starting to stream my prints. I have webcams. I have some nice webcams. I just choose not to use them only because I never thought I was gonna take YouTube seriously. But now I'm really willing to take YouTube seriously only because I have so much I would like to show and so much to give that's why I started to really take YouTube seriously. And I have a passion for 3D printers, man. I really like these things, and I see that the community is very forgiving. The community is very awesome. So if I can just put my 2 cents in that community, then why not? So yes, I will start to stream some of my printed parts. My printer prints very well. Now, there's a comment. Someone left a comment on my previous video and said that my printer and my 1.8 is printing slower than my Ender. And I put the reason. Here's the reason. I think I mentioned it before, but I have some off-brand stepper motors. They're not Stepper Online, and they're not LDO motors. They're this weird, I can't remember the company name, it's very weird, but they had a lot of torque. Like you're talking about 92 ounce of torque, and they're really big and beefy. So I said, why not give it a go? So the problem is, one of them had an issue. I didn't realize it until I put it, but what happened is that when I would try to turn the stepper motor shaft manually, it was itching a little bit. And I didn't know what it was. I thought maybe once you give it power it would work, but I noticed it was itch, and then it would start moving free, and then it would itch again. So I'm like, I wasn't sure, but I figured once you give it power, it will behave right. So I feel like one of the stepper motors is bad enough to the point where it's introducing resonance even after input shaper 2. And my belts are not even that tight. So I'm thinking I was gonna tear it apart and change the motor, but look, I have all this project to do. I have the 2.4 to build, and it'd be a waste of time for me to tear that down just to worry about printing faster. You know what I'm saying? So that was my mindset why I haven't torn it down yet and replaced the motor. I do have a spare motor I can use, but I'm just gonna wait till I need to maintain it, and then I'll tear it down, and then I'll replace the motor. But for now, it prints amazing. I'm limited to about 2,500 in the acceleration. Anything over that, and then the ripples will start showing up in the print. So I prefer print quality over speed. I'm gonna always choose that. I'm gonna always choose print quality over speed. Speed is great and all, but I'm still faster than the average printer. So for me, it's not a bother. It's not bothering me at all, honestly. I'm not all about speed. It's nice to print fast, but not everything's about speed. Because let me tell you something, and I think I've ranted about this before. No matter what you do, if you can't tune your printer properly, you can print fast, but if you look like shit, it doesn't matter. So I'd rather have a quality printed part without no issue than to print fast and my print still look like garbage. So, that's just me. But I'll change it out eventually, just not right now, but just because I want to get these 2 projects over with, and then once that's done and I'm settled, then I'll go ahead and I'll swap it out and then retune it again, and I think that should fix the problem. I could use this. I might keep this. I'll could use that, but I don't know, it might work. Oh, also, just want to point out some observation because I like to give information. So I realized the V1.8 is actually better. I can't believe I'm going to say this. But a V1.8 is actually better for ABS. Hear me out now. Hear me out. I know I don't want nobody freaking out. The reason why is because the bed moves and the bed is closer to the top. When you heat it up, like literally my chamber temperature is 62 degrees. That's insane. I mean, if you put your hands over it, it's super hot. Like not really hot to melt anything, but it's really, really hot. Hot enough that the aluminum gets hot. The rails, the linear rails get hot. And so I don't have any adhesion issues. Like it literally gets hot. So in my opinion, the V1.8 is underrated. It's very much underrated because not a lot of people make it. And I'll tell you this, anybody wants to print ABS, look at the V1.8 just for the fact that it heats up faster. Because you got to remember, I want to point this out to you guys. It has a shorter, look at this. The chamber is literally, even though the chamber is like this, the chamber is really right here when you preheat, right? So all your heat is condensed in just this area while you're printing. And I know some people will put fan there to circulate the air, but that's not needed because all your heat is in this area. So as the bed goes down, you're slowly still adding heat. It's not going to get any less hotter. It's still going to keep the heat there. So for me, this is a very, very good ABS printer in terms of just heating up very quickly, keeping the heat, and having higher ambient temperature within the chamber. So for me, this is a winner all day long. The V2.4 have its drawbacks, even though you benefit from a bed that is stationary. The problem is that the chamber is so tall that when you heat it up, it's going to take you at least 30-40 minutes before everything gets hot. Whereas that takes about 20 minutes, and the whole thing is hitting 50-60 degrees, and I can print. So I just wanted to show that observation that if you really care about printing ABS, I will build a V1.8. But if you don't necessarily care per se, you don't care to wait, then that's when the 2.4 will come in handy. But I just wanted to point that out, that if the 1.8 heats up faster, have a higher temperature in the chamber, and yeah. And that's why Nero is building Toasty Boy, because he realized the power of the 1.8. It's an awesome printer. Just to show the print quality, I'm going to show you all my prints so you guys can judge for yourself. And literally, this is, let me see if I can tilt the camera now. This is 3 days of printing. This is all 3 days of printing. Brown ABS, and all of the prints are coming out amazing. Just like insanely clean. The only thing I need to work on is like the top layer, and I'm using Cura, and they don't have monotonic infill yet. But I think Cura 5.0 should have that feature. But other than the top part that needs work, everywhere else, even the back, looks amazing. So it's printing very well. Like I have no issue with weight prints. And look, no warping and no elephant footing at all. It stays down. And that's because of the temperature in the chamber. Look at that. All that part print from the V1.8. So it's going to be my go-to machine when it comes to printing ABS. 100%. So just want to share that with y'all. Let me fix the camera. I forgot to let me readjust that camera back here. There we go. I know there's I know in Cura you have the ironing. I just haven't took the time out to really mess with it yet. But I really do need to fine tune my Kira settings. Like right now it prints great, but like I said, the top infill is the only issue. I'm gonna take some time to kind of study that a little bit more, see if I can enable ironing and kind of get a cleaner top. But outside of that, my prints are fantastic. Now I don't know if it's PIF quality, but it's close. So, all right, let me just finish this up and see what I can get done in terms of what I can mount tonight, and then we can call this stream. But we can just call this part 1. But yeah, I really like this printer, man. I really like the 1.8. I'm really impressed with it. We don't need this right now. Let's pull that out and rest that here. I'm just gonna use this. Keep this for my 2.4, and I'll take this off. Yeah, that's not gonna work. I don't think that's gonna come apart. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave that alone. I don't think that's gonna come apart at all. Or maybe it will. Maybe. I'll try. Don't think it's gonna come apart. I'm just gonna leave that alone. Just cut it. Yeah, let me just cut this part. Alright. Put this aside. The only thing left is a motor. Really don't need this, but let's slide this down. Rerun my cable back. I'm not going to use this motor anymore. I'm just going to put it up. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it short, because I can always rerun it if I need to. I'm going to be using sensorless ohming on the X of this, just because I have a big tree 2209. So sensorless ohming on the X only. I'm going to be using a BL Touch on here. Like I said, just a little bit different. Cut that. Okay, and should be good. So all I gotta rerun now is, in terms of wiring, is the Y-axis, heater, and fan. and BL touch. So no X limit switch. So I'm just gonna rerun this when I get a chance, but this is practically done right here. Oh yeah, I can do that for you. Yeah, let's shrink this a little bit because this is not that all that important. There we go. Now you guys can kind of see a little bit better. Yeah, anytime you guys can't see me, guys, just let me know. I read the comments a lot, so I'm trying to make you guys see everything here. That should be a little bit better now. Alright. So I'm not gonna worry about that. Motors. Alright. This should take this off real quick. There we go. That's much better. As far as motors go, I don't really want to take them off. I just want to just replace the... You know what? I'm going to go ahead and start mounting the new top for this, because I don't think... The only thing I got to do is add a inserts. That's the only insert is on the adjusted. So I'm gonna go ahead and start replacing the top motors. I think that's better than to take off everything, because I don't want to really fully strip it down. So I'm just go ahead and do that. Let me get some stuff out of the way here. I'm gonna have to put these printed parts all somewhere else. First in this box. I'm not using them. Grab what I need as I go. Make it much, much easier for me that way. Alright. So now I can kind of lay out all the printed parts here. Yo, there's so much printed parts, it's insane. It looks a lot, but Jesus. Alright. So we need motor mounts. Just gonna go ahead and swap them out as we go. Is it? Oh yeah. It's definitely glowing. Let me turn it off because I'm not even printing anything. It's very bright at night. It's hilarious because I can walk out of this room with all the lights off, and that's the only thing that's super bright. What I'm gonna end up doing is I'm gonna print some the 1.8, the guiders for the LED lights, so that way it kind of pivots down. So by the time you see it next, you won't see all that light glaring from the top. It'll just kind of pivot down. So not quite done with it yet, but I got that to do. Alright, so trying to match up the motor mounts here. So this goes right here. go ahead and mount this up real quick. That's why it's sitting in the channel really nicely. So if I pop it out. Okay. Let's go get a job of this. You know what? Let me screw off the motors. I ordered a powered screwdriver, one of those torque wrench screwdrivers. I ordered one of those because this here, even though I like it, it is getting tired real quick. My wrist is not worth hurting, so I ordered one of those, and that should come in here pretty soon. So I shouldn't have to be doing this sooner or later. Okay, come on. Release it from here. There we go. All right. Take this all apart. Shims and all. Shims and all. Shims and all. Okay. Oh. Don't want to lose the shims. Go ahead and rest these down here. And the bearings. There we go. All right, done with that. Yeah, I might just do that, Condi. I might just grab a couple more. Yeah, because I can't be doing this. Like, lately my wrists, not my wrist area, but like my thumb, all this area is hurting. And I don't know if it's from me just messing around with these things, but not to hurt myself, I just ordered it. So I might just get a couple more, like you said, so I don't have to change out the bit. But yeah, man, I can't. Yeah, this is getting daunting on my wrist doing this. No, hopefully, I think I got a different version. The one I got was for like $27. I'd have to look back on what that one was. Hopefully it's not a crappy one. If not, I just send it back to Amazon. I don't think it's that one though, but I'll show you guys when I get it. No, this is not going to be Joker themed. There's no theme to this one. It's just going to be black and brown theme on it, but it's not with a Marvel or anything like that. Because with the Legacy, it's kind of hard to theme it. I could definitely put a piece of plexiglass back here to kind of not really seal it off, but to kind of come down enough, and then put like a vinyl on it. But I don't know what's black and brown. I just kind of picked this color because it's out of ordinary. It's not typical color that goes together. So I just wanted to be a little different here. Plus, this is just going to be printing PLA and PTG. Really, this is all that's going to be doing. I'm not going to enclose it. But the main thing about this is just as a collection, because this will be, after I finish this, I will own, wait, how much Vorons I have? 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll have 5 Vorons, 2 switch wire, 1 V.8, 1 2.4 in the Legacy. The only one I haven't built yet is the V0. And the only reason why I'm not building the V0, the only reason is because I have an Ender 3 over there in that corner, as you can see, and it prints freaking amazing. Like, it prints just as clean as my 1.8, except it can't print ABS. You know, I wouldn't print ABS on an open, but it prints just as good. So that's my V0. You know, that's like my V0 right there. So I don't need a V0, but it'd be nice to build one just for content. But I don't know. It'd be something I have to think about. Oh, well, I'm gonna have to look in that column. He said DWAT. Okay. And it's super strong. Okay, I might have to look into that one. I do have a little bit of cash. I can spend on a decent quality and screwdriver, powered screwdriver. So I can actually look into that and see if that's a good option too. Okay, this is gonna be my stopping. Where did I put it, man? I could have sworn I had all 4 of them with me. I'm missing one. No. I had it out here. Oh, by the way, look at this bench, you guys. This was printed on the Troncy. The only issue is a little bit of cooling on the bow. So just lock the cooling. But in terms of the layer, look how clean that layer is. That is no Z banding on here whatsoever. It's super clean. Yeah. I need to find the I had an extra screw over here. Where did I put it? Really? Yeah. The black and brown scheme is gonna be interesting. Once I put it together, guys, I think you guys will like it. It's a really chocolatey brown. Like, not sure if it comes across on camera really well. It's a very milky chocolate brown, so I think it's gonna look real good. So once I put it together, you guys will see it. Let me go find something, guys. Hold on. I think I might have misplaced a little screw. So I'm going to have to go for a small one. Good thing I carry a bunch of spare stuff. Good thing I have a bunch of spares. There we go. I think about it, some disco lights. I might light it up, it just depends. This is gonna be for my big PLA prints, like when I'm printing helmets or something for a customer. This is what this is gonna do, is print like those big items. Same thing with the Chauncey, it's gonna just print big stuff. But my Vorons, the rest of my Vorons is gonna be printing a bunch of ABS, because I will be branching out into start to sell, not to compete with printed forward stuff, but I think my stuff is pretty good enough that I can sell it parts. And I'm not gonna be making any profit, but just to help out some people that might want more and don't want to wait on PIF, I'll sell you some stuff too. I need to find, I'm missing one more thing, guys. I'm missing one more thing. I bet you it's in that drawer. Yep. I was right. It was in the drawer. I was freaking right. Alright, so it's off. So what I'm about to do now is go ahead and mount the first, the motor. So I'm going to go ahead and take it and go ahead and put back the Y end stop on here. And then I'm going to do the other motor, and then I'm going to see what time it is, and based on that we'll decide whether to call it. But I'm just going to mount the two motors for now. And then tomorrow we're going to do a lot more. Now this build is going to be pretty fast. Like I said, there's not a lot to it. So tomorrow just look out for a nice long stream. Okay, I'm going to have to put some holes in that. Because I really am excited to start my 2.4 build. See everybody building the 2.4 and all excited, and I'm like sitting here with my 2.4 parts for like months now and anxious to build it. But I figured I'd take a break and just do this because nobody has done this one, and put it on stream, and then, you know, kind of stretch out the content a little bit. So there's a little notch that sits right here, and that's what the Y end stop goes. So I'm just slotting it in. It takes M2, yeah, M2 screws. There we go. Got him. Alright, I'm going to bring y'all this a little closer, so that way you guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Just a little closer here. There you go. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Not over tightening it because it's just an end stop. Then, going to need where's the little part? There we go. Gonna need this, and this sits like so. So I'm gonna need to put a, what's the name on this? Okay. Yeah, what I'm gonna do, you're right about that. I'm trying not to make it too long. That's why I try to cut down the bills, because they are too long. They're definitely too long, and we got to remember, not everybody have a long attention span to watch people do this stuff. So what I'm gonna do tomorrow, tonight when I end the stream, I'll probably end the stream about maybe like 9:30ish. I'm gonna go ahead and add all of the heated inserts and all the parts I need. Strip down all the parts. That means take up the previous parts. Make sure I get all the screws together. Put in the heat inserts, and also get my wiring organized. So by the time I start the stream at 12 noon tomorrow, there's no fidgeting. Basically, I have everything where it's at, and we can just put together as we go. Just kind of put together, put it, and make it easier, you know, versus running up and down looking for stuff. So, but I'm just gonna assemble these two motors tonight, and just get that out of the way. Let you guys see what I'm doing over here. I won't stop emphasizing how much difference this tool makes. This is one of those E-insert soldered adapter. My goodness, this makes life so much easy doing E-inserts. Love it. So worth the price. Easy swap on, just kick it on, put in my inserts, and it's over. Turn this down 200 degrees. Get my inserts here. I'm gonna do the other one while I'm at it. There's another piece. Where are you? There's another little piece like this. There we go. Okay. And make sure you guys get the right inserts. These are the inserts I use. They're like weird double threaded. I'll show you guys. Make sure you get the right inserts. Okay. these things don't come out. You get the regular inserts and they won't work. So you need these type of inserts. I appreciate that, Mark. Welcome to the stream, bud. I try to slow down building printers, but man, it's hard, man, because I can't contain my excitement. When it comes to building printers, man, I'm so focused, I'm locked in. Like, alright, for example, if it wasn't for this stream, I can build this printer within a day. Like, if it wasn't for the stream, I'll build this printer within a day. You just see it done. But I definitely want to share how this printer is put together. And so, you know, why not use it as content in this case? Yeah, I'll put a link in the part, Conley. I'll show you where I bought it from. But this is great, man. Like I said, I love this for doing heat inserts because I don't have to worry about it going through the heat insert and burning the plastic. It just makes it so much easier to do. That's it. All right. Alright, these two parts are done. Now we can continue. Shift the camera back over this side. Alright. This is the adjustable, the belt tensioner. So this is what you use to tension the belt. Basically, when you tension in the belt, it shifts the motor. So the motor screws go in it, and it shifts the motor backwards, and that's how you tension the belt. Very interesting way for tensioning belts. So very clever, really. Very clever. Actually, you know, I'm gonna do this last. I want to get the stuff in first. Where's the other piece? And so we're gonna have it sitting like so. All we need now is washer, idler. Okay, so let's put the idler here real quick. Alright, you know what? To make my life easier, I'm gonna go ahead and thread it. when it comes to a print competition, man, if they do that, I promise you, my printers will be right in the top tier. Because honestly, I've seen a lot of people's print, and I'm not being judgmental because not every. I'm not a know-it-all, and I don't want to come off like that. I'm still learning myself. I don't know a lot about 3D printers. I just know enough to be dangerous, if you know what I mean. But from studying it, honestly, I judge my print quality, and a lot of the time when I post my prints, people are shocked. Like, my print quality is, if I should grade it myself being a little biased, it's grade A. Now, to get A+, maybe that's what I need to work on. And like I said, the only problem with my prints, I just need to make the top surface look better. Right now, it's a 5. So I'll grade it like a C, the top surface-wise, right? But if I can get that to an A, yeah, my print will be PIF, you know, printed for top quality. But right now, the surface finish, like in terms of the side profile, like extrusion, all that, it's perfect. So yes, I would definitely agree about like a grading on the prints, because like I said, while you can print fast, if it doesn't look good, to me it's just kind of like a waste. Because you should be able to print fast while still retaining very good print quality, and that to me is the ultimate printer. So you got to screw it in there. So I need one more. That means I need another stack. Another stack goes right here. Okay, so I had to put the other stack in. So washer. Well, actually, you know what? Screw. You go on both sides. Making sure I'm not doing this guys wrong. The bolt should be at the top. So yeah, okay, so I'm doing this right. I was just making sure I'm doing this right because I would hate to mess up right now. So washer. I hope you guys see what I'm doing. I'm missing a nut. I'm missing. Oh. Maybe it's not the greatest idea doing it this way. I was missing a washer. Oh, there it is. I know I was missing a washer. Where is this? Actually, a little bit more difficult doing it this way from the top. Let me try it again. So for my Voron speeds, So, alright, so right now, my fastest printer, believe it or not, is my Tronxy. My Tronxy, I can easily push 20K, 300 millimeter, it can go fast. But I just choose not to, because at that point, you do lose some print quality, and then you have to adjust parameters on that point. At that point, you gotta adjust. Basically, at that point, you need to disable linear pressure advance, because at that point you're printing so fast. It makes sense to have. It don't make sense to have pressure advance. So you have to disable pressure advance because it's moving so fast. It's already gonna have sharp corners at that speed. However, if you are printing at a slower speed, like for example, like 5K. Then you can have pressure advance on. But once you start hitting like 8K, 9K acceleration, it don't make sense to run pressure advance. Because it goes, basically, if you have pressure advance on, and you're running 10K accelerations, or more, then your extruder will be doing a lot less, putting a lot less plastic in the corners. And so you see these weird gaps. Let me show you. For example, I'll show you. So in this case, I want to show you an example. See here, right there, I'm not sure if you guys can see that little corner. I think the light is a little too bright. But you see where the little corner right there? That's an example of too much pressure advance. So I really need to redial back in my Tronxy. So too much pressure advance have less plastic in the corners, and you can actually see through it. Okay, so when you're printing fast, you don't need pressure advance. At that point, you just disable it. But if you want nice, sharp, clean prints at a slower speed, then you can enable pressure advance. Just so you know. So basically, input shaper can be on while printing at 5K, while printing at 100 to 200 millimeter a second. If you have 10,000 acceleration, 20,000, you're pushing a lot more, you better either turn off input shaper or turn off pressure advance. You can't have both of them. So back to what I was saying. So my printers, my Tronxy do right now average 5K acceleration, 150 millimeters a second, 150 on the wall. I try to slow it down a little bit on the perimeter, so the outer wall is about 2500K on acceleration, just to keep the outer wall nice and clean. My switch wires are all doing 3500K acceleration, 5000 on the travel, 2000 on the wall. So both of them are pretty quick. Believe it or not, my Ender does 4000 acceleration, pretty much everywhere, 5000 on travel, and about 120 millimeter print speed. I can turn with print speed on the Ender, but I find that 120 works pretty good with it. And then, of course, right now my V1.8 does 2500 acceleration all around, 5000 on travel, 500 acceleration on the outer wall, and that's just to prevent ringing. I hate to say 500, but basically I force it to slow down on the last outer perimeter. So it's fast everywhere else, but once it gets on the outer wall, it just slows down to keep everything nice and consistent. So, well, and that's also a little trick for you guys. I'm not sure if anybody uses it, but if you want to have a clean outer wall, slow down the acceleration on your outer perimeter, and that will keep your outer wall very consistently clean. Not every printer can print your outer wall fast, because when you do that, then you start seeing ringing again. Even if you do input shaper, you still can get ringing on your outer wall. So input shaper is not like the end all be all. It just allows you to print faster with a heavier extruder and kind of cancellate the oscillation of the motor a little bit better. But it's not magic, because you still can get ringing on your prints. But yeah, but on average, my printers print decently fast. They're faster than the average printer, because you got to give in that most people don't run their printer that fast. I mean, if you look at the crowd, we're like we're like the elites in the sea of people just getting brand new Ender 3s and printing at Ender 3 speeds, which is what, 30 millimeters a second, if not 60. And we have these elite machines that can like do ridiculous speeds, right? So I know a lot of people gonna scoff at a Voron and say, hey, if Voron is doing, your Voron is printing at 3K, that's nothing. Yeah, it's nothing in the terms of, or printer, yes, it's nothing, but it's faster than your average printer. Because most people wish they could hit that speed, right? So I'm not really complaining about it, and I know I can push it further if I really wanted to. But like I said, I just prioritize a prettier print. Like, I'd rather a clean print than just the pure speed. Alright, now I gotta get the top cover. And let's see if I can do this without messing up anything. Alright, got it. Oops, slip out. But I can, well, that failed. That failed miserably. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna do from the other side, since that has. Right? Yeah, the threads are on this side, so I'm gonna have to figure out a better way to mount this thing here because it's not working the way I'm trying to do it. So I might have to do it from this side instead. I'm gonna have to do it from this side instead because it's just slipping out, so it makes no sense. So I'm just gonna do it from this side. You know what I'm gonna do, guys? Alright, I have an idea. I'm just gonna make this easier on me. Because I don't necessarily need this install right away. So I'm just gonna take this back out. I have an idea. I'm gonna make this easier on me. Yeah, because I can push that in any given moment, so that's not a big deal. So to make this easier on myself, I'm gonna catch that and then put the rest in. That's exactly what I'm gonna do. So catch this side. that's it, guys. So I caught it. It was just easier to do it that way. Gotta wash it in between. Yeah, there we go. So that made life much easier than to be fighting with it. So now I got both of them in there. Make sure it goes the right way too. Well, of course I'll be like a doofus and get that caught up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put the other one in. There we go. Alright, so I'm gonna go ahead now add this tool back tensioner. Yeah, you didn't miss too much, Victor. I'm just going ahead and mounting the motor. So this is what this looks like. I'm not gonna tighten up anything right now. I just basically have it sitting in place. I'm just gonna add the, I'm gonna throw it in the frame first and then add the motor and everything after. Just so it sits properly. So, trying to remember how I had this. I think I had it coming through the top though, if I remember. Right? I think I had the wire coming through the top. So I might have to... Do I want to do that? I'll just keep it like this. Let me see something. I guess that's fine. I guess I'm okay with that. I mean, kind of tacky in a way, having a wire like that, but that's alright. I just have it hidden right here, but that's okay. I'll work with it. I'll work with it. Go ahead and mount the motors. so we have one motor down. It's not tightened. I ain't tightened it yet. Just want to make sure everything is in place before I go ahead and try to tighten down anything. Look. Get this white out. There we go. So. I might redo this. I don't know. I might do that. I don't like the blue, but we'll see. Alright, now that we got the motor in, now we can go ahead and kind of tighten down the idlers. Don't go overboard with it. Don't need to make the idlers super tight. It just needs to be tight enough. Alright. Yep, they move freely. No issues. Alright. Yo, that freaking startled me just now, but it's just one of my rod that fell. Alright, so you guys can see it. So it's nicely, all I gotta do now is try to align, make sure this, because the problem was my belt wasn't aligned fully. So now I guys got to make sure this lines up with the, I want to say this is the lower pulley side. Yes, the lower pulley side. So I got to make sure this lines up with the lower pulley at the bottom. Because the problem is that if you don't line that up, it just, the belt is going to ride and eat itself alive. Doesn't matter whether it's a Gates belt, doesn't matter what belt it is. If it's not lined up, it's just going to eat itself alive on the pulley. So I just need to make sure that's fully aligned before I even attempt to do the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure that's aligned good. And I might need to stick a screwdriver in there and actually make it align a little bit better because it's not quite aligned. Yeah, so I'm going to have to put a screwdriver in there and align that. But it's almost that time. We'll continue this tomorrow. Let me let you guys see my face. Get over there. But we'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow's stream will be during the day. Yeah, just look for it around. I'm going to go ahead and schedule it once we end the stream, but it's probably going to be between 12 and 1 p.m. in the afternoon. I know a lot of people want to see my stream, especially people in Europe that watch my streams. So it's going to be between that, about 12 noon to 1 p.m. And that stream, I'll have everything a little bit more organized. Everything will lay it out nicely. And then I'll just go ahead and start cracking at it. This build won't take long only because it's not hard to build. To be honest with you, it's not hard at all. So probably in the next 3 streams we'll be done with it. And after that I can finally build my 2.4, which I'm kind of excited. Like the more I'm watching people building one, yeah, the more I'm excited to build mine. I do have the colors. I don't think I showed you guys, but got some neon green ABS. I'm not sure if you guys can see that, but that's like a neon green ABS here. So I'm trying to match the Joker color scheme as close as I possibly can. The frame is already purple, and I got some white. Got some white ABS here, so this is like white. It's like a nice, like a pastel white. It's like a nice pastel white ABS. Like it, basically it's ABS in its natural form without any coloring. That's the type of color it is. It's like a natural ABS white. So it'd be that neon green, white, some black. I don't know where to put the black yet. But it'd be neon green, white, a bit of black, and some red. But I don't know where to put the red driplets yet. I don't want to put a bunch of red. I just want the red in the right location just to mimic. Because Joker is what? White, neon green, purple, red. Right? His lipstick is red. His face is white. His hair is green. His body's purple. So I kind of want to make my build replicate his outline of his color scheme. Right? So hints of red, hints of black, mostly white, mostly green. That's what I'm looking towards. So I think that would look really good. I'm probably going to focus the hints of red on the tool head, to be honest with you. The tool head would probably be a hint of red, hint of black, but green and white. So that's, I have to play with that color and see exactly how to pull that off. So it should be interesting. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. But like I said, this build won't take too long. Tomorrow we'll knock out at least 50%, 70% of this, and then the next stream we'll knock out the rest, and it'll be over with. Because this is one of the simplest build, next along to the switch wire to be, in terms of easiest to build. This and the switch wire are the easiest to build. The 1.8 and the 2.4 is a little bit more challenging in that respect. But yeah, so we'll do the stream tomorrow. I'm kind of beat now. It's all pull apart, so this should be pretty much easy. And so any last questions you guys have? I'll shut it off at about 9:30. So alright guys, so thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. Tune in tomorrow afternoon. We'll have a stream and have a blast. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side.